Hello, we are now in chapter 3, which really focuses on tropical breezes. For this chapter, we really need to understand why air moves. Basically, how do we have wind? To understand this, we have to think about forces. So the main thing to think about is we have wind because we have differences in pressure. We have differences in pressure because we have differences in temperature from place to place. So air always moves from high to low pressure under what's called the pressure gradient force. So air moves from high to low pressure. As air moves from high to low pressure, other forces come into play too. The chapter will discuss the Coriolis force, which will deflect the air to the right in the northern hemisphere. We have other forces coming into play too, such as friction. We'll learn a lot more about friction later on in the book, particularly as we talk about sea breezes and as air comes over land, we have friction from the city buildings and so on, and that slows that air down. I tend to think of some of these forces just generally as we go around our daily lives. For instance, if you're in the supermarket, you might be carrying your shopping cart and you're pushing that shopping cart along and you're exerting a force. You're pushing or you're pulling. That's exerting a force. And you might give it a big shove and that cart will go down the aisle. And then what happens to that cart? Well, eventually it will slow down because of friction. And then, so we have different forces at play on things in our everyday lives, just like we have different forces at play with the air. This chapter will introduce you to the global circulation model, where you'll learn about 3 sails of the global circulation model, the Hadley sail, the Ferrel sail, and the polar sail. And superimposed on this global circulation, then we have other scales of circulation. So you have that background circulation from this global model, but then you have these other scales that are superimposed. So the model suggests what we might expect at different latitudes, but that's not necessarily what we're going to get because of these other circulations coming into play. For instance, in Florida, the land and sea breezes are very common, which are superimposed on these bigger circulations. So you'll learn about all these different types of circulations in this chapter and really get a good idea of why air is moving. Enjoy the chapter, and I'll see you in the next one when we talk about fronts. Thank you. Bye.